Think about this. If you want to amputate your finger, you're mentally unwell. But if you want to remove your penis, you're an inspiration for everybody.
To basically create a penis or a phallus for an individual who was born biological female and who seeks transition to a male gender. The procedure is done with plastic surgeons and urologists. The urologists manipulate the tissues in the surrounding area to lengthen the urethra. A new scrotum is created, and some of the anatomical parts of the female anatomy are removed. The plastic surgeons are in charge of creating a new tissue that will ultimately meet the lengthened urethra and the additional tissue that's been moved to create the neophallus. We typically utilize tissue from elsewhere. For example, the forearm or the thigh is used. The plastic surgeons are also responsible for providing sensation by doing the nerve coaptation so that the new phallus will have sensation, and also responsible for reestablishing the blood supply and also to shape it in a way that appears more physiologically and anatomically like a natural one.
So in other words, they're going to cut it down there if they want to create a penis for you. The tube, they're going to put it in a specific direction. They're going to cut some meat from your arm or cut some meat from your leg and use that to put on the tube. They put like a plastic gangster to give it a strong bone internally over the tube so you can move it up, you know, and then they're gonna put the skin over it so you can stand and breathe through a straw-like feeling and feel like that you're a man. After, I'm sure they have removed your breast, you had the blood clot situation, hope you manage all that. You're gonna take medicines forever because you're still gonna take those testosterone and all those stuff in this weird way. The puberty block that you have been taking, remember, it might actually destroy the sensation of ever getting an orgasm or anyway. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting how you're gonna have sex with that. I have no idea how. I don't know if you're gonna have to put a dildo or something to pretend you're gonna use that because you don't want to destroy the pipe down there with your skin over it. The skin they have to gonna put there, it can protrude, it can fall off, but hey, it's a good experience. I wish you the best. A lot of people just don't tell you everything. Look at this stupid picture. It doesn't make you less of a man if you wear a dress. It's a silly stereotype that dresses are only for girls. How do you know a 5-year-old was trans? Because he likes wearing my dresses, and that's an obvious sign that he is a... I'm like, no, it's not freaking obvious. You don't like gender stereotype how they dress, but if they use the same dress, you're gonna use that stereotype to tell, hey, that's a woman. Why? Doesn't that sound stupid?
You always hear about fucking how amazing surgery is, and I'm sat here in the background, known for a fact that even trans people who had it have got massive problems, huge issues and numbness. Like the amount of trans women that have got zero sensation down there is fucking devastating. The issues I've been having for the first 3 years, I was convinced myself it'll get better. It's just part of the healing, and it never did. It never got better. So some of the issues I have is I've got a weird thing going on where I've got complete areas of numbness and then hypersensitivity of pain. So you can like nothing. That hurts. Oh my God, what are you doing? And that means that having sex of any kind is very difficult. For me, the main thing was the urethral issues, like not being able to pee. After surgery, I had a catheter in, and when they took it out, my urethra was completely constricted. So if you imagine a straw that's bent and you're trying to suck through that straw, you can't because it's like constricted. I was in the worst agony for months. I had a few follow-up surgeries to try and get that fixed. And now I'm in this rigmarole now of every 3 or 4 years, I need to get another urethral dilation. I can't have sex, don't have a sex drive. I didn't see really anyone talking about it. And even trans people do the whole, yeah, I've got no numbness, but it's better than what I had. And it's just like, it's not. This isn't better. You deserve much better than that. I know the question was, if it went all well, would I be happy? I don't think so. I think this helped me wake up sooner than later, but I don't think I should have had it anyway. I think I actually enjoyed having what I had. Really shouldn't have happened, full stop. I didn't want it, but they kept asking, and I was also getting therapy at the time, and they said, if you don't want surgery, we'll have to discharge you. And I was like in the middle of therapy with them, and I was like, fuck. So I was like, okay, then fine.
Okay.
I think for me that transition probably wasn't the answer long term, but short term maybe. And surgery definitely not. It was fucking stupid.
All right, I need to know if any parents of young kids have had this same experience. So we just took my 3-year-old son in the doctor for a checkup. My 3-year-old son. Okay, there's a reason why I'm emphasizing that, and you're about to know why. So my wife and I are waiting in the room with our son, and the doctor comes in. And he sees my son sitting there on the table, and the first question that he asks him is, "Are you a boy or are you a girl?" And I look at my wife like, what the f-? So luckily my son understands obvious tenets of biology at 3 years old, and says that he's a boy, just like his chart says. So the rest of the appointment I can't even focus because I'm wondering why in the world this guy is asking the question. And then I remember, oh yeah, I live in California. And call me paranoid, but this is where I think we're heading based on other things that have happened. An Ohio couple lost custody of their teenager for refusing them hormone treatment. And a divorced Texas couple were in a court battle over whether or not to let their 7-year-old transition from a boy to a girl. And many are saying that the new proposed Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of their kids who want gender transition. So again, call me paranoid, but I'm wondering if the doctor is asking the question of my son to see if he can establish a pattern over time that shows that my son wants to be a girl. But here's the thing, my son is 3. I'm not even going to let him choose what he wants for dinner. And some days, my son thinks he's a dinosaur, but I'm not going to let him transition to a dinosaur. And being in California, this is probably going to happen to people like me first, but I don't think it's going to be long before we start seeing parents lose custody of their young kids because they're not letting them transition to the opposite gender. And I think pediatricians are going to be the ones who are going to start calling it out.
Yeah, you have to be careful. You really have to be careful. You can call it out. You can say whatever the freak you want. It's gonna happen. It happened to my kid. They dressed him like a princess, and the only reason I didn't explode because my son thought he was a king. And that day, we just went to buy all his favorite toys that are like big dump trucks. They dressed him like a princess because they thought, hey, he likes pink, so maybe. So by that logic, they can just go to my masculine son, hey, you're transgender. Are you freaking kidding me, people? Dude was only 3. Open your eyes and be aware because they're gonna start pushing this. And if you don't put a stop like, yo, chill your ass, then they're just gonna go along with it. Behind your back. This is a good example how you can feel like a certain way at a specific age. The father is a dictator and mommy because they work like a team together. And look at this beautiful girl explaining her experience.
I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I actually just don't care. I'd like to publicly thank the universe and my parents for allowing me to be born into a time where they said, no, you can't change your gender at the ripe age of 14 when I asked to be a boy instead of a girl because being a girl going through puberty was hard. I vividly remember standing in this exact living room and asking my parents, can I be a boy instead? Because being a girl going through puberty was not fun. Getting a period, growing boobs, shaving your legs, shaving your armpits, waxing your eyebrows, none of that was enjoyable for me. It was awkward and uncomfortable, so I decided to do anything else, which was be a boy instead. I wore baggy clothes and I put my hair in a ponytail and I just decided, nope, not doing it. And my mom's response was, no, you're a girl. You could dress however you want, but you are a girl, that is your gender, and it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. So yeah, I'm just very grateful that I wasn't born into a time period now where parents are getting brainwashed into responding with the words, okay, do you want to talk about it? Nope, nothing to talk about. Vagina, girl, and it is what it is. And looking back, I'm so very grateful I didn't try to do anything to change this body because I love her and she is beautiful. I wasn't meant to be a boy, I just didn't like being a girl in that moment in time. And it's that fucking simple. So thank you, Mom and Dad, and thank you, God, for allowing me to be born into a normal time period, and to 2 parents who understood the concept of genders can't be chosen. Also for giving me this body because we love her.
In other words, God saved this girl. Very simple, because that's why the parents were very strict. No, you're a boy or you're a girl and that's it. You can do whatever you want, you can dress whatever you want, but that's it. You're not gonna change any freaking thing. And now she's like, oh my God, I have the confidence that in this world to shave, bada bing, bada boom, it wasn't that hard. I'm like, come on, man. Do you know how many transgender people are like, you know what, they try to transition and they stop and they said, you know what I miss? I miss the purpose. I missed the purpose. The time I got my puberty, I got this. But then it stopped because they realized it wasn't for them. So it's not that they cannot transition. The problem is that most transgender people or non-binary and all these people, they have a lack of purpose which they relate with their identity that they need to change to feel purpose. Interesting, right? It's all mental. But you cannot say that's a mental health issue. Okay. Dysphoria? I think it is.